Hello, hello. We're back for another Other Ink Thursday. I'm Matthew Orr of Wet Ink Games, and Other Ink is when I talk to somebody who's another publisher in the industry, another creator, another designer, another artist who's got other ink other than mine. And today I'm joined by Pedro Barrenechea.
Close. Barrenechea.
Barrenechea.
Close.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Pedro, for coming and joining me. Your company is Paradigm Concepts, and your
Yep.
game is Rotted Capes, and we're going to talk about it for a little while here. So, as I like to do starting out, I want to ask you kind of like why games? Like, what made you become a game developer? Not a gamer, but like you were like, ooh, I can do this as like a thing, a job. What is
Okay.
that for you? Like, and that's accelerating the question set kind of a little bit, but like,
It's fine. So, my entire relationship with gaming started when I was younger. I always had really bad ADHD, really bad dyslexia. One of the few things that got me into reading was fantasy and Dungeons and Dragons. I wasn't interested in it till then. I always played around with my own little game rules for the game. Like I created these crazy critical tables and all this. And I had a group of friends of mine, and this is right before third edition came out. I was actually one of the playtesters for third edition, so I knew what was coming down the line. They announced the OGL, and my friends at the time were looking at doing a pulp action role playing game. But they saw what was happening with the roll with D20, and they wanted to change direction and start producing their own game world. I was brought on as their rules guy because they're story guys. I'm the rules guy. Like Henry Lopez, who is the president of the company and also one of the best storytellers I know, is the story guy. he he looks at me and he goes, "How the hell do we make this work?" And I'm like, "Huh." And then I come up with the rules. And as years passed, I've been given a lot more autonomy with the rules. And now that, over Arcanus has been around for like 20 years. And over the time, I've gotten to the point where Henry doesn't have to tell me stuff about the story. I just start making stuff that fits the story. So they asked me, "Hey, do you want to join in?" I was like, "Yeah." By daytime, I'm an engineer, so at nighttime, I design games. It's my creative outlet. It makes me incredibly happy. Being able to go around the United States and run a game that I helped create for people and see them have a good time is amazing. It fills me with joy. Um, so that's how I kind of got pulled into the industry. Over time, I've actually done work for Paradigm Concepts. I did a little bit of work for Spycraft back in the day. We did some Spycraft books. I did a little bit of work with Legend of Five Rings, very little. Um, and I'm actually credited on like three Pathfinder first edition products. So yeah, I've dabbled with other companies, but I've always been Paradigm.
yeah. I've
Yeah,
I've talked to an engineer before, who's also a game designer by night. It does happen, and I think it's sort of like the not joke necessarily, but like the thing that we always talk about is like role playing games are such a collaboration in writing between creative writing and technical writing, and
yep,
that's
for
kind of
sure.
the you're coming to it from the technical writing side, I imagine, right? Where it's like,
Yeah,
look, I study manuals, I have to have like tables, I need like the order of things for the engineering stuff, and then it's like, but what if it's about superheroes throwing cars or whatever, like what if it's applied to
exactly.
a different thing.
And over the years, I've my storytelling has really evolved. Like I've gotten much better at storytelling and stuff like that because of Henry. And because I've also had a chance to, because I'm in the industry, I've gotten to play with some amazing storytellers. Um, I got to sit down at a table that John Wick ran. I got to sit down at a table that Ed Greenwood ran. So like, I've the doors that this has opened for me to meet some amazing people and play some amazing games has really changed the way I look at games. I used to be very mechanical,
Hmm.
like D20.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I was very, 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 very mechanical in my game mastering and my game design. But over the years, because of the people I've run with and the games I've played, the way I run games is different. I'm more of a storyteller now
Hmm.
than a than a I'll create awesome encounters that kick your butt. I
Yeah.
still do that, but yeah. But now there's a purpose to me kicking your butt in the story. I'm not doing it just to kick your butt. It's different.
Yeah. So, I mean, I took a look. So we're here ostensibly to talk about Rotted Capes Second Edition, which is by the time this video launches, it will be either soon or on or launched already. We'll time it that way. And so, like, I have a lot of questions about
Shoot.
the book. I took a look through the first edition earlier today because you sent it to me so that I could kind of get it, and you talked about that sort of like the D20 sort of. The third edition, some people call it the D20 glut that happened where everybody
Mm-hmm.
was doing like, oh, the OGL is as out, third edition is here, or 3 point.
Mm-hmm.
There was kind of like a stair step thing where like I played three and then 3.5 came out and I was like, why would I upgrade to 3.5? I already play three. And so like then people were looking at like, oh, but here's like you want to do whatever D20 modern and it has guns in it, or here's this other
Yeah.
game, and there were so many versions you could play anything, and
Mm-hmm.
this book that I'm looking at is sort of well past the it's 2013, right? The
Yeah. That book came around was out when like fourth edition was in play.
right. Well,
So
that's
we did
another.
3.5.
Yeah, that extends it even more. Like as D&D went further away from the D20 classic,
Yeah. So did we.
but people kept playing that same sort of system. So
Yeah.
so I mean, it looks. What I'm saying is that looking through it, obviously I didn't read every word of it, but like it looks very much like a product of its time. It looks like you've got the stat blocks and you've got two column
Oh
layout,
yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. For sure.
it
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
appears.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it in digital, but I assume it was printed or intended to be
No, it
printed
wasn't.
at 8.5 by 11. Like there's that
Yep.
size. All of the layout conventions, all of the sort of stuff, it makes it look very much
Well,
like a product of that time.
well, the layout conventions, we still stick with them for one reason: bookshelves. I can tell you, this is the first time in my life we moved to a new house, and for the first time, I have bookshelves of all my gaming books.
Yeah, it's nice.
The odd shaped books are a nightmare. They're a nightmare. I have some books that are a little bit too tall to fit, so I have to put them on top. I have other books that I have to find a weird way to display them because they're tiny. So we kind of stick to the traditional format because bookshelves
Yeah.
and people like to now the way things have changed. People have their shelf trophies. You have your digital books, and then you have your shelf trophy. It's like my wife. She'll read a novel on her tablet, but then she'll buy the special edition book, and she's like, it's my trophy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how like a lot of gamers have gotten into now, where they'll buy the PDFs, they'll use the PDFs, but then they have their books
Because they're
like up on a
searchable and you
bookshelf.
put three of them, you can have three of them open at once in different tabs and like all that kind of stuff. But then, yeah, you want the nice
Exactly.
special edition that's
Yep.
3 inches wide and
Yep.
has three bookmarks in it and
Three bookmarks and
yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I am an old school, and I like my freaking books in my hand at the table. Like that's the way I might like my books. But I've seen a lot of people. They're fully digital, but when I've gone to their house because they're my friends, they have all the damn books on the shelf.
So I mean, that's certainly a part of it, and like as a publisher, I've never published an 8.5 by 11 book. The biggest we've done is 10 by 7 or 7 by 10. A lot of our stuff is 6 by 9. That's the sort of like what I jokingly refer to as like the indie size publication, or
Hmm.
you kind of know it's an indie game, or
Because of
it
the size. Yeah,
because
I actually
it's
have a I
it
have a bunch I have
it
a bunch of games in that size.
but it's like it's all I don't know if it's it's marketing in some respects, right? Like I feel like my books are not in competition with the big dragon game because they're not that same size. They don't look like that. They are different size, so you're never going to. I'm not trying to take them out. But what, and I don't know if you think of it this way, and part of this is all set up for like explain to me the first edition so that then we can contrast with what the second edition is going to be. That's kind of what I'm doing here. So like in this first edition, it was very more common, as you said at that time. That's the standard book size, and that's what people expect. And I can imagine this being printed, the cover, and I can imagine it coming out as a hardcover, and I can imagine it being on a shelf, and
Yep.
it's got the same sort of table presence with the size of the book. I mean, it's so like, I guess one of the things that I want to ask you about the second edition is like, what have you learned in 12 years as a company? Like, are you doing it the same
So,
way, or is it going to
oh no, no, but
be
yeah,
is it
it's
going to be moving, and you even set it up yourself. You're talking about becoming more of a storyteller over time, because this looks like a lot of rules. There's a lot of rules in this first edition. So like, I kind of want to ask you
well,
about
okay.
the
So
12-year experience. Like, what's obviously the game is done well enough that you have all these supplements and all this stuff. So like, why is it time for a second edition is kind of my first
well,
question about the
because
second edition.
I noticed a bunch of pain points with the game. Everybody always complained about character creation. It's like the number one thing I got from everybody. I used to have a clock for combat,
Okay.
and a lot of people liked the clock, but once you got a bunch of people acting at the same time, the clock got a little clunky. And also, I noticed that the introduction of the clock kind of slows down the storytelling a little bit because now starting combat feels like a total change, right? And everything else, you're rolling a dice for your skills, but now suddenly you need to bring this clock into play before you start combat. And now everybody's like looking at their little clock that it just changes the mode of combat and it changes the mood, right? Like I'll set up some great scene and now we're going to spend 2 minutes with everybody setting up their clock. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and then there was some other pain points like threat creation was too complicated. Um, um, those were the two biggest ones I got. That character creation and threat creation were too complicated. I built them off a point-based system, and they were complicated. In retrospect, I look at them, and even though I could rip through and make a character,
Sure.
it's because I created the
Yeah,
damn
yeah,
system,
yeah, 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 yeah.
right? So, so I kind of went back to the drawing from the ground up, and I wanted to keep what worked and replace what didn't. Like, I had complicated skill system, right? I got rid of it, and now you have a sentence, which is your skill set. So you could say, I'm a mass detective. I'm a ex Navy SEALs operative. And that is now your skill set. I present a challenge to the party. Hey, this is going on, this is going on. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm an
You could say,
ex-Navy
hey,
SEAL, so I think I
I'm
should
an ex
have.
Navy SEAL.
Yeah,
Can I use that and my wisdom to see if I could
yeah.
figure
I'm
this
gonna I'm
out?
gonna do some.
The
I'm gonna do
detective,
some scouting
exactly,
around the perimeter because like that's a standard operation, and so like yeah, my wisdom is
exactly.
now contrasted against their hide skill or whatever.
No, their skill set. Like let's say they're apex predator.
The hunter's hunting the
They
hunted,
definitely
or the hunter's hunting the hunter.
exactly. So the skill sets like not only kind of define your background, which the game doesn't have backgrounds. It just has your origin and your archetype. No, your background is just part of your story. That's how you tie it into your skill set is your background. Um, so, but your background gives you all the, is not just is it lets you describe to the GM, hey, I dude, back in Afghanistan, this happened to me. I want to do this for my intelligence. And the guy goes, you know what? That's a good one. Roll it. Um, but you could also be really creative. Like you could be a demigod, and one of my players
Right, because
is skilled.
it's a capes thing. Sure, why not be a
Exactly,
demigod?
exactly. And one of my friends came up with the skill set. I've seen empires rise and fall.
That see, this is what you're explaining to me is selling me on the game because like
Bro,
I
the skill set system, I'm in love with it. My players are so creative with it. Another one has Born to Wear the Mask. He was basically raised by this one hero. I think he was called I forgot the name he came up with it for, but he was basically a Robin. He was raised to be a Robin. So he's like,
a
"Oh, I
Robin
live in the
type, a Robin
shadow."
type, right?
A Robin type. So he lives in the shadow of his mentor who got Z'd. But he's like, "Yeah, my mentor, you taught me this. As long as it makes sense, you get to roll."
All right, so
Um,
we don't have a lot of time, so we're going through a lot of things quickly. So you just mentioned got Z'd, and so that reminds me
yeah.
that we've kind of skipped over sort of the whole premise of the game and the setting. So
Yeah.
let's before we get into some more details about
Oh, by the
the
way,
game.
no. By the way, I have an additional 30 minutes. I just got text. We're okay.
All right, well, okay, but I think it is important to kind of let you give it like okay, so it's rotted capes is and it's like
Yes.
those two things, and there I appreciated there was a page in the first edition that I looked at that had like here's superhero tropes you can use, here's zombie tropes you can use on like facing pages,
Yep.
and that's kind of the whole thing of the game. And again, like going back in time to like when this was first done, like I mean superheroes were never bigger. There was such a zombie like a high point,
Yep.
with like you had so many zombie board games, so many you had zombie comics. So what was it, the
Walking Dead. The
yeah.
Walking Dead was
Right,
on.
right,
Yeah,
right. The
yeah.
Walking Dead was on TV. Like, I mean, we still have Last of Us, and so they're still around. No, zombies are never going to go away. But like, there was definitely like, I think this game came out or was being conceived during like peak zombie, and I think we are
It
past. I
was.
think we are past peak zombie now. So like,
We are.
I have two questions there. One is sort of like talk about kind of like how you came up with this setting and why you did it then, and why it still has legs now. Why it's still you know
Like, we came up. We always have like a yearly sit down dinner at Fuddruckers. Me and my partners Henry and Jimmy, and we just like we need to come up with a new game, and we just I don't remember how it came up, but somebody was like, we need to do a superhero game with zombies, and we were like, yes. And that's how it happened. And then we came up with the trope of, because in Roddy Capes, you're not playing the big superheroes, you're playing the B-listers.
yeah, I noticed that in
The
the
A-listers, the A-listers either all died or they got Z'd. You are the sidekicks. You are the ex minor villains that now are trying to keep the world together. Every group of heroes, when you make your hero, you make two survivors that are somehow attached to your hero. With those, you have an enclave, which is like your headquarters, your base of operations. So the game kind of has two parts to it. You have your enclave, which is where like a lot of the drama happens between the players and the side and the crew, the supporting cast is what I call them. And then you have, you know, what happens outside, because you need to go get supplies and stuff to keep these people alive, or you need to go out and investigate a weird radio message or something like that. So the game really has two distinct parts to it. You have the action of, going out there and being superheroes and punching zombies in the head. And then you have the personal stories back at the Enclave. And the Enclave actually has three stats that are kept secret from the players that are, how unified their supplies and their morale is. And if the players don't pay attention to it, things start to fall apart
Right.
because the heroes are what everybody's looking to. Yeah, you might be B-listers, but you wear a freaking cape.
Well, you're still super powered or superhuman of some sort.
And you're the one thing keeping those zombies from eating them.
Yeah. So does that come in with like I mean you talked about like increasing the story your storytelling chops over time. So like obviously if you put out you give the players you tell them, hey, create two survivors that are like tied to you. It's like, okay,
Yep.
now you've created the problems that you're going to have because those people are going to be in danger, right?
Well, not only that, when you create them, I kind of say that you should try to create them during session zero because other players could offer fault, uh, faults in your survivors. So they could be like, you know what? Yeah, that guy, the one that you saved, the ex police officer, he suffers from PTSD.
Right.
He freezes up under dangerous situations. And if the player accepts it,
Right.
right, they get to start their first adventure with an extra plot point. But they don't have to accept it. They could be like, "No, I don't like that one." But if you accept it and you're like, "Okay, that's awesome. We'll deal with that." It adds more drama to the story because humans, we all have faults.
Sure.
Nobody's perfect. And in a situation like after zombie apocalypse, a lot of people would have problems.
Right.
Um, so so you have a lot of potential storytelling in making the rest of your supporting cast. Now the editor in chief, what we call the game master,
Right. Right.
um, always could add more to the enclave. Like the enclave that I play here in Miami, um, I added an ex superhero. Her name is Watchtower. She lost a leg during the zombie apocalypse. A car basically got thrown at her and landed on her, and somebody, one of the characters raised up the car and dragged her out, but she lost the leg. So she's stuck back at the Enclave. She's a telepath. So she basically acts like the radio for the party.
That's cool.
But I added that one in, and I added a few other ones. But yeah, so the story of Rotted Capes isn't just, superheroes going out and beating up zombies, even though that is a part of the game and it's fun. There's that story of the survivors and the rest of the world. There's an NPC that I'm going to introduce in the book that I had the idea for. People call him the mailman. Um, he just has one power. He could teleport, but only very far distances. So he's already found all these enclaves, and he's the one that lets you know there's other people still out there.
That's a I like that. That's a cool element.
Yeah, and the cool thing is he could be a hell of a hook for a story.
Sure.
We could show up and say, New York is getting overrun. You need to get over there right now. Get over here. And he teleports you to New York. So it opens up the heroes going other places.
Sure. Not everyone has to have flight or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's I so I like a lot of the way you're describing it. Is there sort of like a I'm thinking about like I mean I guess it depends on the player group, right? But is there sort of like what's the sort of, I guess it, again, I guess it depends on the player group, but is like, what's the sort of tone? Is there like,
Okay,
we're going
so
to get our Reed Richards version to like work on a cure, and like
I
that's a progress bar that we can be working on from mission to mission, or is it just it's about survival and attrition, and it's a story of hope and disaster. It's,
so
it's going to be
I
disastrous at
mentioned
the end.
yeah, I mentioned in the book that the game could be incredibly gonzo and campy, or incredibly horrific, or it could switch in between. The sweet spot for the game is kind of right in between, with a little bit of gray. Because I've done games where it was very superhero-y, where the heroes are literally kicking ass, and then I just changed the entire tone of the game with one cutscene. And I literally had one of the players look at me and be like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "Yeah." And the game changed. Like the way they acted at the table changed. It went from superhero game to horror game.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. The stories you could tell with this are really cool because of that. Because first of all, the heroes aren't like you don't have Superman to deal with, right? So they're they're B-listers. Even the A-listers aren't Superman. The Omega level threats, they're not even that powerful. They're a little less powerful, but um, you could tell some really cool stories because of that. Now the system, I call it the uncanny system,
Okay.
because my playtesters said it felt uncannily like fifth edition, but it wasn't. Because I like the simple one die. I like the die roll, add a number to hit a target number. It's fast, it's easy. My 6 year old nephew can pick it up like
Sure.
this. So I like the fact that it's that simple. Initiative starts, you roll die, you add a number, done, move on, right? So um, it uses like the very basic of fifth edition DNA, but that's about it. I don't use classes. I don't use any of that stuff. I use the ability scores because they're recognizable to everyone,
Right.
right? Everybody knows intelligence, wisdom, constitution. It's just known in the gaming industry. Um, and with the exception of dexterity, most younger players can pick it up like this. Dexterity and constitution are the two that always trip them up. Um, but older players can pick it up really quick, easy.
Yeah.
It's a very it's a deceptively simple game. Powers um, have a description of what they do, but you're encouraged to think outside the box with your
Right.
powers.
That's sort of
You could do something called
the sort of the
power stunts.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do power stunts like I want to freeze the lake,
Right.
or I want to. What was something? One of my friends did this really cool freaking move. Oh, I can't remember it now. He was using. He has ultimate skill in mathematics.
Yeah.
He's a mathematician, and he figured out the geometry for like this impossible shot to get somebody out of a cage.
That's cool. And
And he's like, Pete, bro,
so
I get if anybody can figure this out, it's
yeah,
me. And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
So do you have
So
is there like a do you have like a currency, like you've got like, I don't know, your super points or whatever that you can spend to
so
activate these big powers, or is it all narrative?
yes and no. It's kind of worse. Every power has a burnout value.
Okay.
When you get to your burnout threshold, which is only 10 by the way, it's not that high. When a power is doing burnout of 4, you get to 10 really quick.
Sure.
You have to roll d20 to make a save that starts progressively getting harder, or your powers shut off for the rest of the encounter
Yeah.
because you burned yourself out.
So it's really it's a tight in that respect. Like, I mean, that kind of pulls from. I mean, I guess it pulls from the superhero side, but it feels like it pulls a lot more from the zombie side, where resources are
Yep.
tight.
Yep.
Like it is usually that's a theme of those kind of games. So that's interesting.
Now you could build a character with no burnout problems, but that means you're probably going to be a melee character, that has to get into melee with zombies.
Sure.
So there's the balance is if you want to go into melee with zombies, you're probably not having to worry about burnout ever because you have thick skin and you can punch things. If you want to be able to fly and blast things, you're going to burn out. One of my favorite characters, her name is Apparition. Um, she has, unfortunately, the three most expensive powers in the game. She has teleportation, the ability to become incorporeal, and the ability to become invisible. She'll get out any situation, but she burns out like that.
Yeah.
The speedster also burns out like
Seems
that.
like it. Yeah.
Like he burns out super fast. So you have to be careful with that. If you spend a turn not using any of your powers, your burnout goes down by your rank score. You start at rank 2, by the way. So it goes down by 2. But that's why the old A-listers used to be able to use their powers nonstop because they were so high level,
Mm.
quote end quote, that they could just use their burnout.
Yeah.
But you're not. You burn out quick. So
Interesting. A lot of it sounds really really good as far as like thinking about and like this is I'm sure you're talking about like this is all stuff that's in the new edition, like this is what
yep.
the iteration on the book that I scanned through looks
Yep.
it has come to. So let's I want to ask you about like that. Was there anything else that you feel like? I want to ask you about the Kickstarter, like itself, like sort of what is on offer, when is it launching, all those kind of things. But is there anything else that you want to tell about, like the rules of the setting of the game before we go
Well,
on to like the?
we're giving you a deeper setting
Okay,
because we kind of gave you in the first like overhead toolbox, right? Um, because
and
now we're gonna get a little deep
you had like
and give you some more. Hmm?
you had like a city, like a statted out city, the map,
Oh yeah,
and
we had Paradigm City, which is kind of a, like our metropolis.
yeah,
Um, but honestly, we I realized that when I was talking to people, 95% of the people were running their game in their hometown.
yeah,
Like I did it. I was running my game in Miami.
yeah.
But in the new edition, we actually have like 4 enclaves that are detailed, um, including the one in Paradigm City. But then we're going to be adding more to the world as time goes on. Uh, for example, we haven't announced this yet, so you'll be the first one to know. We're going to be doing expansion books for each origin, and each origin is going to have a few adventures tied to the origin,
The
expand upon the
origins of
world a
the
little bit more.
enclave, right?
No, origins. Okay, so when you make a character, right? You pick an origin,
Ah,
how you get your powers.
okay,
That's how you get your powers. Either you're a demigod, or you're superhuman, or you're highly trained, or
okay,
how you get your powers. Then you pick an archetype. It's how you use your powers. Are you a brawler? Are you a controller? So those two are your what you do and how you do it.
yeah,
They don't, by the way, they don't restrict what you could do. You could have a demigod controller who has melee powers. It doesn't stop you. It just makes you better at doing what your preferred archetype
yeah. I
is,
mean, you
if that
you
makes
you
sense.
come from somewhere, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So Origins, right? Like one book that we're going to do is going to be the highly skilled book for highly skilled heroes, and it's going to be called. And it's going to be a few adventures that really focused on skill-based heroes, expanding on the world of some famous skill-based heroes that lived before D-Day, and we're going to add like enclaves. So we are going to be expanding upon the world. We're going to expand the world in the main book, and as time goes on, we're going to expand upon. As part of the Kickstarter, we're doing 3 adventures. One of them takes place before Z-Day. The second one is during Z-Day, and the last one sets up your enclave 2 years later.
All right. So those are
Now,
those are
originally,
those are included in the
yeah,
core book of the. Oh,
no, that's going to be separate. That's going to be separate, but they're going to be part of the Kickstarter.
okay.
Yeah. In the Kickstarter, we're gonna have the adventure One Bad Day, which is a little introductory adventure. It's a good one I wrote to help you understand the rules when you play through it.
Yeah.
It's also going to be given out with fast play rules that we're going to give out for free.
So that's like if you back it, you get to download immediately the.
Oh no, 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 no! You don't have to back it. We're giving away the fast play
All
rules.
right, that's cool.
Yeah, we're giving it to everybody. It's going to have the basic rules for combat and a little other few other things. 6 pre-gens, some cheat sheets for the rules and sidecars for the character sheets, and the adventure One Bad Day.
So this, I mean, and this is sort of like what kind of we talked a little. I was asking before about the scale. So this will be like a physical. If you get the physical of this new version, it's still going to be 8.5 by 11. I assume, right?
Yep,
A sort of.
yep, yep. Yeah, it's going to be 8.5 by 11, full color, hardcover. Yep.
Is it new art style or reusing some of the art that is in the core book?
We're reusing some of the art from the core book. We're getting some new art, but we're going to use a lot of the old art. We're a very small company.
Sure.
It's only 3 of us.
Look,
So,
there's only 2 people in my
yeah.
company. Like I get it. I'm just curious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're going to use a lot of the same art, though we are getting a whole new cover. Uh,
Which
the cover is going to be an homage to Days of Future Past
okay, with all
from the X-Men.
the
Uh-huh.
the
With the
wall of
posters.
deceased. Yeah.
Yes, except they're gonna say Zed missing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That I mean, people who know will know, right? That's
Yeah, yeah. The people know are gonna be, hey, yeah.
but it's a good
Like
concept.
our original cover is an homage to an Avengers book.
See, I don't know the Avengers as well, so let me look at it
Yeah,
and see.
it's if you look, there's a it's the heroes and the villains attack each other, but they're like in a straight up line. That's an homage to an actual Avengers book. Oh, we're gonna do a special edition, by the way, of the Rotted Capes book.
That's the shelf or the shelf trophy.
No, 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 no. We have the normal 8.5 by
Oh,
11. The way we always do our products, right? We have our regular 8.5 by 11 and our special edition 8.5 by 11. Because we have some people that just like to buy the special editions. And normally we will splurge on the special edition, but it's just too expensive to make. So we really can't make that many of them. Like for Arcanus, we did faux leather with gold inseams and stuff, and it's gorgeous. But oh my god, that was expensive. So we're doing the normal book, then we're doing a special edition book, which is going to have a wraparound cover, which is going to be an homage to the Jim Lee X-Men cover.
like the relaunched X-Men #1 or whatever that was
Yep,
in.
the one with Magneto like this with
Yeah. Right.
yeah, that one. It's going to be an homage to that one.
I mean, I often say that I'm not like a huge fan of superheroes, but I did read a lot of X-Men comics in the '90s, so like I
Oh, so
know
did I. So did I, dude.
you're talking about stuff that I know exactly what you're talking about. But it is
Yeah.
so I'm in your target demo in that respect. Even though I don't follow superheroes too much these days. But that's beside the point. But you're
The the funny thing is that cover has been redone by Marvel 4 times already.
sure. I mean,
By four different artists.
it,
Yeah, they've done homages to it like 4 times.
it's like it's the Action Comics #1. Like just redo you
Yeah.
play the hits to some
Yep.
extent. So I don't so tell us about the dates. Tell us some more about the Kickstarter, right? So like when is it launch? When is it running for?
Okay.
What are some of the tiers?
October 1st. October 1st we launch. The basic tiers, the core book, with any stretch goals as PDFs. The stretch goals are the 3 adventures I told you about. And also, um, 3 adventures, and then there's another 3 adventures that we have outlined that if we get up that high, we'll produce them also. Um, and some of the backer levels, we did this the first time, and we're going to do it again. which is the immortalized, which is you get to create a hero
Mm.
or zombie, and we put them in the book.
Yeah.
We do the art to make them look like you, or like we had another guy that kind of had a hero that he used to do when he was a kid. And he sketched him and sent it to us. We had artists done for it, so we're going to do that too because our fans really like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the immortalized in the game, the all in, the digital only, and that's it. We are going to be uh, we're going to be 100% supported by Hedron, the VVT,
Hmm.
and there's another VVT which was successful on Kickstarter, which we're going to be with them when they launch finally, which is Fabled, which is a really good project. Um, but both of those companies are fantastic, great people, and we
Yeah.
talked to them, and they were like, "Yeah, we want your stuff on our VVT, so
Yeah.
we're going to be on there."
We've been talking to Varun Singh a lot this year ourselves as Wet Ink, so we've got some,
Yeah,
you know, there's some forthcoming stuff from us for them because
nice.
you know it's
Yeah,
the thing that I mean, this is sort of like an advertisement for Hedron, I guess, real quick. But like you know, we've had conversations with other platforms, and we're like, our system that we use in Wet Ink has playing cards, and so that's like a
yep,
whole other stuff to implement, right? And other people have told us like, you know, you can host your games on our platform, or like, but your platform doesn't handle the mathematics of what you could do with a deck of cards. And what Varun said when he came to talk to us, I told him that, and he's like, great, give us an excuse to like make that work. And it's like,
yeah.
oh,
I love talking to him.
that's like
I
such a
met
different answer than we've gotten from other people, and we're like, all right, let's
exactly.
continue this conversation. So like,
Yep.
I don't know. I haven't heard about the other one you mentioned, but I can definitely like Hedron has been you know, they've been courting us, and we've said yes, and they're putting us on their platform too. So like it is
No,
it
they're fantastic.
yeah.
I mean, fantastic. I talked to them at Gen Con, and then I was like, we need to talk when I get back to Miami. We talked on Discord for a little bit. No, actually, just Zoom blew me away.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just going to they're going to support all of Arcanus and all of Rotted Capes.
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned Arcanus a couple times, and we haven't talked about that. So, like, if you've got some time, maybe you can tell me a little bit about Arcanus. If you're at the end of your time, we move on to like telling your socials where people can find your links. I don't know what your. I'm checking in. Make sure you've got your time.
Yeah, well, I do have to get going.
Yeah.
But my socials, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
on Blue Sky.
You and
I'm on Blue
you know
Sky.
the company and everything, and the Kickstarter link and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know.
So I keep forgetting my damn Blue Sky. So I'm on Blue Sky as StatMonkey at bluesky.social. I'm a StatMonkey on Instagram. I don't even look at X anymore. X is just I don't even look at that anymore. Um, Paradigm Concepts, we're on Instagram and we're on Facebook, and you could find a new account called Rotted Capes on Blue Sky. That's us as well. So that's where you could get a hold of us. We have our webpage, paradigmconcepts.com, and we will be on Backer Kit starting on the 1st of October.
All right.
Yeah, so
And
that's how we could get a hold of us and stuff.
yeah, where it runs all month, all throughout October, or when's it wrap
Yep,
up?
all the entire month. The
Okay.
entire month.
Awesome.
We're doing a 30-day Kickstarter. I think we close up on Halloween.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's spooky season. It's time for zombies, I guess.
Zombies.
All right.
But yeah, dude, and this game has been in development for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I kind of lost heart doing it, and it was going to die after my father died. But just things in my life happened, and I jumped back into it, and with this renewed vigor that I did not expect. Um, and honestly, I think this one is the best game I've ever done.
Well,
I mean, I am very proud of it. I
yeah.
am very proud of it. I
Yeah.
rewrote basically the entire thing ground up. Um, I added I've noticed reading the old manuscript and the new one. that my language on how I approach things has changed.
I mean,
If that makes
you would
sense.
hope it would in 12 years, like you're developing as a
Yeah,
person, and your talent is increasing, or your skill is increasing, your
like
experience.
like I mentioned things like lean into words like that the me 15 years ago would never have used in a game book. Um, Plot points, right? I love plot points. Plot points literally let you rewrite the scene.
Hmm.
Um, you give out plot points for people doing cool stuff or giving into their faults in a way that is not advantageous.
Sure.
Or every superhero has a tagline. If they use their tagline at just the right time, they get a plot point.
That's all of that is both narrative and also fitting for the genres, and it yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Like Apparition's tagline is "You never saw me." No, I was never here.
Mm,
Hers is "I was never here."
yeah.
The Speedster is "You never saw me coming."
Yeah.
Um, so if you use your tagline in a cool way, that like everybody at the table's like, okay, that was awesome. You get a plot point. And plot points, they have a mechanical thing. Oh, I could use it to reroll, of course. But the main thing is it lets you rewrite a scene.
Yeah.
So if I describe the scene, and like an example that happened, somebody we were fighting on a rooftop of this like 25-story building in Miami, and they were fighting a super zombie with strength. I hit somebody. I rolled a critical, which is knockback. So I literally threw him off the building. He said, "I'm using a plot point. There's a flagpole." I grab it, I spin around, and I go to kick him. And I was like, "That's awesome. Okay, go." Um, Another one. This was at Origins when I was playtesting. I described this high school they were going to, and one of the players gives me his plot point and goes, "I went to school here.
Mm,
I was a football player here. I know this place." And I was like, "Oh," and he goes, "Yeah, dude, where's the back entrance? We're not going in through the front."
sure.
And I was like, okay, go,"
Yeah. Yeah.
and all this. Yeah, and actually, he had a moment where they were going through the classes, and he goes, "I take a second, and I look into Mrs. Rivera's room." I'm like, "Huh?" He goes, "My favorite teacher. I miss her."
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
"Okay, here, you get a plot point. That was awesome."
yeah. I mean, that's great. I love that kind of currency, and I mean,
Yep.
other games have those kind of like, oh, you did a cool thing. Here's some bonus points or whatever. But like, it is great to encourage encourage that kind of play. I mean, that's the kind of play you want to happen anyway, but then to
Hmm.
mechanicalize it with like, here's some currency that you can spend, and keep that sort of storytelling going is great.
Yeah, there's one small thing about plot points that everybody needs to remember though. When you spend one, the editor gets it.
So it's like they've got currency then of their own. Like that's
And
see,
they could use it. They don't use it to rewrite a scene, but they could use it to create some like really like interesting moments that aren't really in the rules. Like I punched somebody into a wall and I used my plot point to have the wall.
sure, sure. That's I mean
So
that's
I was like, "You're out of the fight for a round. Try to
right.
get." And he's like, "Okay." And it's not meant to be a mean thing, and actually say in the game that you could use your plot points to save the character. You could be like, "I'm gonna die." No, you're not. Well, here's a plot point. This happens to you.
So you do that for other characters, like yeah,
Yes. But the editor is encouraged to also do that for the players.
right.
Like if the players come up with some really cool idea, really cool move, but they don't have any plot points, you can say, "I'm going to use one of my plot points to give you advantage on that roll."
Yeah, I mean that's like a standard. Has become sort of a standard, like the of more modern games.
Yep.
Be a fan of the characters
Be a fan of
as
the players. Yeah.
be a fan of the players, but also the characters. Like as opposed to like the the old school, very old school version of that, where it's like, do not, if they don't check every 10-foot section, you will spring
They're
the pit
dead.
trap,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Now,
that,
don't get me wrong. The way I designed the system, it is deadlier than fifth edition by far.
oh, well, sure. I mean,
By
most things
far.
are. Fifth edition is very forgiving from the players.
It's very forgiving. Yeah, very forgiving. But I've run games where like two people are literally a hair's. One guy is seriously considering teleport. Yeah. Whoever plays the apparition at my tables is always all of you. I don't have to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Pedro. I know you've got other things to do. Thank you for talking to me today. Is there anything final thoughts either about the crowdfunding campaign or this game or what you've learned in the industry in the last 12 years that you want to share before we get out of here?
The only the thing about I like about the industry, is how it's evolving. I really like some of the stuff I'm seeing, like Daggerheart. I love that game. I read it. I have not played it. No, no, I did play it. I played it at Origins. I got to sit down at a table with some of my friends who had an extra seat, and they're like, "Dude, I know you're running games all con. Come down." So,
What's one
um,
more? Play in this game.
yeah, what's one more? Come on, let's play. So I love what I'm seeing in the industry, right? Yes, we still have the 1,000 pound gorilla in the
Oh yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, which everybody and their mother plays indie game, play D&D every once in a while. Um, but all it does is bring more people into the.
It's there's it just does seem to be doing that. It
Yeah,
has done that.
it brings people into the hobby. It does. It is a cultural icon. People that don't even know about role playing games know the words Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
It works.
I
It's
was
a gateway drug.
I I was trying to explain to a doctor that I saw recently what I do,
Hmm.
and I was like, "You know Dungeons and Dragons, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I know Dungeons and Dragons." I'm like, "Just
Yeah,
think of it
all the
like
time.
that. Just think of it like
I
that."
always do that. I go, oh yeah, I write games. What kind of games? Like Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons.
yeah,
Oh, those.
yeah, yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's a
People know.
cultural. Yeah, like you say, Coke. It could be Pepsi, Coca Cola. It could be a
Sure,
million things. Everybody knows what Coke is.
sure.
Um,
It
but
has that weight.
I really like where the industry's going. Now, the one thing that does make me sad is that after 2020, in-person games are becoming rarer and rarer.
Yeah, it's
And I find that sad because there's something special about being at a table with drinks, talking shit with your friends before the game starts,
sure.
hearing everybody laugh, those crazy moments where, yeah, it's special there. The storytelling that you could tell when you stand up and you express, that's why I love going to conventions. Because I'll get up and I'll start with my hands and I'll walk around, vibe something, but you can't do that online. It's just a screen. Half
Right.
the storytelling is gone. Never mind the fact that going off the cuff online is very difficult.
It's and you get like tech issues and like if somebody's saying
Yep.
something great and half the people didn't hear it because they were
Yep. Yep.
because the person's muted or what yeah, it just introduces all kinds of stuff that is
Yeah.
different. But I think the the thing
That's why I tell everybody that if you're into gaming, go to a convention. Go to a con, meet people,
yeah,
play games you've never played before. Open up the schedule and be like, the Avatar role playing game. That sounds cool. Let's go. Just go and meet people, play games. And if you're a GM and you always wanted to run games at a convention, but you always thought you weren't good enough, or you're worried that people won't like your game, right? Just go run a game. People will play it.
yeah. I mean,
There's always people playing games.
yeah,
There's a guy that goes to Origins every year. He writes and he runs three adventures for 7C. It's one storyline he's been running for like 5 years.
wow,
But and the stories he writes are fantastic. he goes to Origins. All these people go and look for him. He runs the games. So if you're a role player and you can go to a convention, go,
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
It's well. Having said that, what conventions are you mentioned? Origins and Gen Con. What are you going to any others this year? What else do you have anything
Yes.
on your schedule?
I actually do work with Double Exposure
Okay.
and Marvel Comics. I managed their Gen Con room this year at night. So during the day I was doing Paradigm, and well, it looks like I'm going to PAX Unplugged.
All right. PAX Unplugged. Well,
So yeah, it looks like I'll be there for Marvel. But then during the day, I think I'm gonna hang out with the Hedron people a little bit, and I'm gonna run games of Rotted Capes for people.
cool, cool. Well,
Yeah,
we go to PAX Unplugged. Love PAX Unplugged. So we'll be there. I'll have to look for you in the meet space at the con.
yeah.
But all right.
Hey, dude, if you're interested, there's an event I run at Origins called Gathering, where I manage a bunch of rooms and I get the GM's hotel rooms and everything. If you guys want to come, and I'll put you guys in a room and host your tables.
We'll think about it. Send me some of that information. But
Yeah,
like
yeah, hit me up.
we booth at Origins, so we're there anyway, and we
Oh,
have
you booth at Origins, awesome.
yeah. Wet Ink booths at
Right.
all of the cons you've been talking about. So like we're going, and we have our games getting run by a group called Lurking Fears. They run our games.
Oh, I know them. I know them.
Yeah,
Yeah, good people.
yeah.
Good
So
people.
we had we yeah, we've got some of those things taken care of already from our end. But thanks for the offer.
Yeah. Well, dude, at Origins, man, we need to hook up and play a game together.
Sure, if we can swing it. I mean, cons is like we were just talking about how great it is to go to cons, but like if you're working a con, it is very hard to like find time to
I
like play
over the
games.
over the last 5 years, I started this about 4 or 5 years ago. I made it a point to always play one game at the
Yeah,
convention,
yeah.
just one, and even if it's like a 1 o'clock in the morning game and it's a board
I
game
can't,
that I've never. You can't do
I
that.
can't play a game at 1 o'clock in the
I
morning. I got to be
I
in
don't know
bed.
how I don't know how I still do it. I'll literally game till like 3 in the morning, and then wake up at 7.
No, that's well, you're getting all the energy out of it because like but yeah, that's too. I need more sleep than that these days.
Fair enough.
All right, I think we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for talking to me today. Thank you for telling us about your game. I will tell you that I mentioned that like superheroes aren't like my thing and zombies aren't really my thing, but like you've kind of like you've been so energetic and so excited about your game, and the stuff you told me about the storytelling parts of it are they make me excited about it. This is not like a conversation where I'm like, okay, tell me about your zombie thing that I don't care about. Like I did enjoy talking to you today about this game, even though it doesn't hit the things that I love, but it is like you've been working real hard to sell me on it. So I think that I'll be checking it out. I'll be following it throughout October, just out of curiosity and stuff like that. So thank you again for being on my show and talking to me about all this stuff. It's been real an education and a pleasure.
Well, dude, it was a pleasure meeting up with you, and yeah, man, we have to hang out at Origins.
So at one of these cons,
One of them. Well, are you gonna pack some plug?
yeah.
Oh, cool. We will see each other.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean,
Okay, dude.
unless something weird happens, we'll be there. So
Fair enough.
we'll look for you in
Okay,
Philly.
dude.